there's certain people who ask, what can we move Randle for? I've heard Malcolm Brogdon, and of course, to me, it wouldn't be straight up Malcolm Brogdon because it'll be Malcolm Brogdon in pieces, if anything. Maybe Miles, I don't know, maybe Miles Turner or something. I don't know. But would you move Randle for the snake, Kristaps Porzingis? Because I shared the pics with Timmy. You asked me that in the comment section of the last post game.
Well, I'll say this. Here's the thing. When KP was here with the Knicks, it was under a different regime. And I know that KP did love playing in New York, despite, his rift with Phil Jackson and those guys that were here at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I know the Knicks need a stretch five. Kristaps would be that stretch five that the Knicks need. But the thing is, I would maybe consider it as a backup plan. That's not something I would pursue off the bat like that, because my first priority would be re-sign Mitch. And if I re-sign Mitch, I'm not pursuing a KP Julius Randle trade. If Mitch is gone, I might reconsider and be like, okay, is that a trade? But then again, it's like the fans, like, can that be repaired? The relationship between KP and the fans, like, you have to think about that as well. But like I said, that's not a trade that I would be pursuing, like, off the bat. Like, yeah, I'm going to definitely do this. Like, that would be something where it's like, if everything else fails, and it's like a last resort type thing, I'm going to be like, okay, I'll think about it then. But that's not one of the first moves I'm going to make, no.
More hated, Kristaps in his day, or hit Kristaps after the trade, or Julius Randle now?
Oh, that's hard. That's hard.
Who's more like, man, Ryan? I have my own personal policy. My own personal policy is I don't date toxic exes. All right. All right. Exes are exes for a reason. All right. All right, let me be a little bit more serious now. A little more serious. All right. So here's the thing. Kristaps Porzingis, when he was here, I always felt like he had a lot of promise, but I don't know if you guys followed us, how long you guys followed us, but I was kind of nervous about getting him the max when he was with the Knicks. I don't know if you remember this, Ryan.
Yeah, I remember.
But I kind of decided maybe we should because we had no choice. But I was kind of nervous, and I was nervous because I still wasn't convinced that he was a real number one option. Because to me, number one options are guys who can command double teams. And guys who, and he was getting stopped by point guard Marcus Smart in the post. No double team needed. So and as of the day, he's like he's a decent spot up shooter at 3-point line. Like, he shoots 30-something% from three. Kristaps Porzingis does.
Yeah, about.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, it's okay. Is it 30? What does he make? 36 million?
Yeah, that contract is big though. That contract is big.
36. Hold on, let me get the exact numbers. Kristaps Porzingis is making 31 million this year, 33 million next year, and then he has a player option for 36 million in 2023, 2024. I feel like that's a severe overpay for that guy. And he might have a better argument if he was able to be healthy, but he can't. He's never been able to play 50 plus games a season yet.
Yeah.
So I can't do it. I can't spend 36 million on a guy or over 30 million on a guy who can't be healthy. That's just way too much for me. To be honest
Yeah.
with you.
And like what you just said, like that also, at least for me anyway, it also relates to Brogdon as well, because I know the Knicks need a point guard. I know, people have said that they want Brogdon to come to the Knicks, but it's just the fact that Brogdon's been hurt. Like I don't know if I can trust Brogdon to play 50 games in a season, especially lately with his injury history. So that's the only reason why I wouldn't pursue a trade with the Pacers with bringing Brogdon here as well. So I would rather bring in somebody who I can, really depend on health wise. And I know for a fact, like, this guy's going to play at least like 60 to 70 games at least in a season.
Like for me to consider that, like, how many picks do you got? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's who you're going to have to give us some picks.
How many picks do you have to consider that? To even consider that? Like, you got to empty the cupboard for me. Because you're going to get 20, 10, and 5, and he's going to give you an attitude type of problem. But, KP might give you an attitude problem too. So, I mean, it doesn't seem like he's been well-liked wherever he's been either.
Yeah.
So we giving you attitude for attitude, but you're getting somebody who gives you an attitude, but he's more durable.
Yeah, and it's crazy because if you look at KP's stats, literally KP's best season was in a Knicks uniform. Since he got traded, he hasn't had a better season than he had with the Knicks that last season before he got traded.
Right. And Julius Randle at least commands double teams, and Kristaps cannot give you that. He can. So I mean, for me to even consider that, you got to empty the cupboard for me. But I'm looking elsewhere personally. I'm looking elsewhere. And that's just me. That's just me. All right.
In terms of like Kristaps, yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you guys. The fact that like he hasn't even had a better season since he left the Knicks. I think we actually we definitely needed to count our lucky blessings that we didn't sign him to a long-term max deal.
Mm-hmm.
We would have been stuck.
Yeah.
We would have definitely been stuck.
We still been in it
And
right
then
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing with Kristaps too is like, is the rebounding. Like the one thing with Mitch is like, because like Mitch doesn't get a ton of defensive rebounds, but he definitely clears out and makes space and gets a body on the man, so like other people can rebound.
Yep.
And so the thing that saved us this year, I mean, we've had a bad season, but the reason why the bottom hasn't really totally fallen off is because of our rebounding,
Yeah.
And if you go with like a Kristaps, then if we lose Mitch and you have a Kristaps, that goes away. We're gonna go back to struggling to become struggle as a rebounding team. So
Good point.
Yeah.
That's the only issue I have with that. If we lose Mitch Robinson, we just need to focus on like getting a big man that can actually solid at protecting the paint and also helping the team rebounding, because that's very important in basketball, especially defensive rebounding.